Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Inspired Life podcast. I'm your host, Jason. Sounds weird. I don't like saying host. I'm not a host. I'm just trying to reach out and I want to be inspired. Um, I have tough times, and I know right now I feel like there's so much entertainment that we've kind of lost connection with each other. So, I just want to help someone out there. Like I said, originally, this was supposed to be for my two daughters because one day I won't be here anymore, and it'd be nice for them to have something that they can go back to and watch and see the kind of father. Sorry, sorry about the camera. See what kind of father they had. Definitely not perfect by any means. So, in this episode, I want to discuss what having a higher power can do when, actually all the time, but when times are really tough and you're left to nothing but mainly your thoughts and concerns and worries, and you don't want to bother anyone, or you don't have anyone that you feel will allow you to release the negative energy and maybe come up with a plan. So for me, it's been a higher power. Um, I don't have a large group of friends. I spend a lot of time at work. While I'm at work, I'm trying to make sure that the customers have a great experience and that they're taken care of. Because without them, I wouldn't be able to support my family. Um, I believe we all need everyone, and it's kind of deeper than the, what would it be like? I guess the materialistic kind of world that we live in today. So when I was born into a family, my mother, my father, and my half brother, who's 4 years older than me. It wasn't pretty by any means. My father was very abusive. Um, they used to party a lot. I mean, that was kind of like the time. My father had a good job, made good money at that time, and my father was very popular and had a very outgoing personality, despite the things that he's been through in life. Um, so I know he used to like sell drugs, and there always be parties there. When times are good, they were really good. But when they were bad, they were really bad. So I'm not sure how to really go about this, but anyway, I remember one night. It's pitch black, and I feel like it was me, my brother, and my mother all around the dining room table. And I remember my father lighting a Bible on fire. I don't quite remember the words that were said. Um, I just know that it didn't feel, well, it didn't feel right what was going on. Um, it was powerful because it stuck with me, and I might have been 3 years old, maybe four, maybe even two, but it's stuck with me to this day. Um, My eventually my dad beat my mother so bad she was put in the hospital, broken ribs, broken nose. Grandfather picked me up when we were living with my grandfather. Um, my father, like, while they were going through their divorce, which we left when I was 4, I believe the divorce was finalized when I was 8. So somewhere between that age, but I feel like I might have even been a little bit older, 7, 8 years old, maybe, that my father would have visitation. Um, yeah, 7 or 8 years old. My father would have visitation, and I would sit, well, stand at my grandparents' window, bags packed, ready to go. And he never showed up. One time, he drove past the house. Um, he had this really cool muscle car. It was a Chevelle. You could hear him, so I knew he was coming. He pulled by, and there was a stop sign. So he's coming towards the right, and he goes to the stop sign, and I'm a little nervous, but he makes like a U-turn because I wasn't quite sure. He made a U-turn, and he drove right by the house. Never, never came back that day. There were times where I would go to my mother's work, and he was supposed to pick me up for visitation, and he would not show up. So I became friends with a lot of the grown-ups at the grocery store, and he would kind of take care of me, give me all fat on frozen yogurt. That was my first addiction, by the way, was food. Get into that at another time, but boy, I got fat. Fat. Um, so anyway, like, they would kind of like take care of me, look out for me, so my mom wouldn't get in trouble. There was a bar at the other end of the shopping center where people would give me quarters. I can go in there and play video games. My mom and dad were both well known. I think it was either called Chesaco Bar or Chesaco Liquors, Chesaco Bar and Liquors. Remember a man, Big Al, older little tiny fella actually, owned Big Al's Pit Beef. Um, in our little neighborhood, I guess we were always kind of somewhat popular. Later find out maybe not for the right things. So anyway, sorry to get off topic with higher power. So this is going somewhere. But hey, I will skip past some things, and I'll go on to more of the story. But so anyway, never really talked to God. And I also want you to know higher power, like, this is a little more spiritual. I'm not trying to be religious. This is my story. Your higher power could be one of your best friends, or someone you admire, someone you look up to. It could be even like an alter ego, something that you like want to believe in, something that is just bigger than you. Almost it can be even like fantasy like. I know that there's some people that don't believe that there's a God. With the way things are today, I can completely understand why you feel that way. But I do believe something created, some power greater than myself created all of this. I mean, we are just a small speck just in our little universe, much less all the other universes out there. So that there's something magical to that, uh, to be able to have this experience that we call life. Um, but one point, I never, if I talked to God, it wasn't nice because of my upbringing and what I saw on a pretty much daily basis, and what I became on a daily basis by pretty much smoking weed every day from the age of 12 all the way on until I gave that up for other drugs, but mainly heroin. I didn't eat weed or any other drug after I was introduced to heroin. Therefore, like, I always was able to maintain and keep my shit together. Heroin wiped me off and took me to places that I never thought existed. Rock bottoms that had rock bottoms that had rock bottoms that had quicksand trapdoors and rock bottoms beneath it. Multiple times I tried to take my own life, tired of just the way I didn't want to live. If this was life, I didn't want to live. And if anything, that was maybe ele- one floor above the rock bottom that then became, another rock bottom because, uh, thank God today, those attempts were unsuccessful. Uh, I never really talked to God. Like I said, if I did, it wasn't nice. But I remember being in work release, a little badass at this. This is before heroin, and I was always on probation or locked up or waiting to go to court or having warrants for my arrest and evading the police. I can't even believe it when I think about it now. You know, making it like a year to 2 years, evading warrants and cops knocking in people's doors that I know looking for me, and then going to jail because I was staying at a buddy's house with another friend of mine, and the dad came home completely drunk and lost his shit on his wife, and my buddy cold cocked him and knocked him clear out. The police were called. I'm the only one that goes to jail because I have a warrant for my arrest. I did get out, but this was another time where I was locked up, and I was on work release. I was at the phase of work release where I could finally go out and go to a job that I got instead of going to. Um, there was a couple of jobs, but going to like this recycling plant, and you would rip open bags of trash and pull out any kind of cardboard and bottles, everything. You let that go, but the plastic had to come out, and any cardboard had to be pulled away. Um, so that was rough. That was rough. Almost rather went back to the jail. Um, but I remember, I was working at Friendly's at White Marsh Mall. Um, and things kind of sucked. I remember me being back at like the dorm. It was like a bunch of trailers put together into one big dorm. And I was walking away from my bunk, heading towards like the dining area. And I remember having a conversation with what I thought already controlled everything. I remember kind of talking to, like, I guess it'd be the devil in my eyes. And saying, You know, I'll go your way if I ain't got to deal with this shit no more. If I could just be gangster, I guess. I don't know. Just not even gangster. Just, you know, kind of in a way not being, just wanting money, wanting to not be a loser anymore. I was a loser my whole life. And when I was little, I was fat, and everybody just, and they made fun of me all the time. All the time. The only reason I had friends is, I guess, maybe in the neighborhood. They gave me a chance, or mainly because I had to fight at young ages, mainly because I had a brother. So maybe we were popular in that way. Most of the time, I was the one being dared to do something, and I'm doing it just because I think they'll like me. So anyway, talking to the devil, I guess pretty much, hey, take care of me because this is the life I'm living. When maybe I'm going to say a week or two passed, I had a buddy who used to cut my hair, kind of like the dude that looked out for me and put me down to everything and how things worked and the processes, uh, who to hang out with, who to watch out for, the snakes. Yeah, snakes. Uh, so about a couple of weeks after I said that, I get hurt really, really bad at the job, Friendlies. I was standing on a milk crate trying to take the fence down to clean them above the flat stove. Uh, Probably between 7 and 8 o'clock at night because we do that around closing time. I believe the mall closed at 9 back then. And I fell and my hands hit that stove and my hands melted to the stove. I had to peel my hands up. Probably the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced in my life, and I've broken a lot of bones and torn a lot of stuff. I go to Bayview Hospital, get the ointment, magical recovery. But of course I couldn't work, so I'm back at the dorm just kind of hanging out. My buddy kind of had his own thing going, and he worked as like cleaning the dorm, so he was always there. So during that week, he devises a plan, orchestrated exactly how we're going to do it. But we're going to start selling heroin in the jail. I'm sorry, I gotta fix this again. I apologize. So his plan works out great. My white ass gets on a bus in Towson, takes it all the way down into the city because my bus route goes down to the city around. It's like the longest bus ride that they approved in that jail. I was able to accomplish that. Yay. So I'm going down into the hood, picking the stuff up. I'm getting to work. I'm breaking it down into smaller packages and hiding it so I can get it back in because they search you every night. This thing's working like a charm, making a lot of money. Things are great. One day, the whole dorm gets popped, which means everybody's got to leave a urinalysis. There's been a lot of suspicious activity. So during that time, I went to work. They asked me if I left the urine. I said yes, I did. I left to work, went to work, drank as much water as I possibly can, came back, and passed the piss test. Drank so much water, shoved the kidneys down, and passed the piss test. I was the king in that place. There was like 12 people. My brother used to be there, and he kind of was doing the same things with cigarettes. It's running our blood, even though we're half related. Um, I always found a way, but at this point, I'm like, all right, this dude got my back because now I'm winning. Where I feel like God's just trying to hate on me and break me down, make sure I don't have anything. I can't even be prosperous doing the wrong stuff. But now I was. Um, I got out. That experience at the jail made me like, okay, this was like a one and done with heroin. I ain't doing that no more. It felt great. Never thought it was gonna be a part of my life. Um, Little did I know, I guess. So I get out. Now I'm kind of a little bit more known on the streets. You know, uh, was known as a fighter. Not everyone was scared of me, and matter of fact, one of the things that people acknowledged me most about was getting jumped by a group of guys who, I hate to use this term, but they were another gang, and I was not part of a gang at that time. Um, and I didn't drop, and they beat my face so bad that I had broken bones in my face. And the next morning, because my mother told me, that's so funny. That night she told me, if you get hurt, don't go to the hospital. So funny she says that night. The next morning, she's waking me up and my pillow stuck to my face and all the dried up blood. Why didn't you go to the hospital? You told me not to. I'll never forget that. It's so funny. Um, but okay, anyway, so like now people kind of know that I can sell drugs, I guess, and I was working, I was selling drugs, things were going really good. Uh, Became more popular. Started working out more when I was locked up. I was doing like 100 push-ups a day, 100 squats a day. So I looked pretty good when I came out. Um, I wasn't just a pothead anymore. Went back to smoking pot, trying to do my thing, sell drugs. Had a great time. What a great run. Um, until the law would be involved again. Destroyed the whole group of friends that I had. Um, the only buddy I had left was somebody who didn't have any body in his life. He introduced me to heroin, and I became highly addicted. Became homeless. It's like me serving a higher power that I thought was looking out for me, but just really wanted to destroy me. So it was like short gains to destruction. Just here, I'll give it to you. I'm going to let you walk right on down the path that everybody else does when they get involved with this. It's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, though. Um, you know, I ended up um, relapsing shortly, like after getting my life together for a short little bit. I think it was about 6 months clean. It's quite the little fight. Uh, and I'm at a guy's house waiting for him to come back with my pills. And when he comes back, I like something happens. I start spazzing, like almost like, man, just really crazy. Like, thought I was becoming schizophrenic or something, man. I mean, it was just nuts. Thought I was that sick. that this dude wasn't the same dude that left. It's almost like if I would have took one of those pills and if I would have shot it that night, I wouldn't be here telling you my story. Um, Something happened. Something was there. Something was intervening, and I was down and out. Um, I left, went to the hospital to make sure I wasn't nuts. Told them exactly what happened. They just kind of like looked at me or asked me if I had anybody that I could call. I mean, at this time, it's the middle of the night. So I called this guy from the church, and he took me down to this program, and I would be there. Uh, it's the same program I was at. How I got my first 6 months clean. So anytime like there was a chance to give your life to God, I went and I begged for God to take my life. Just either take me home because I can't do this, or take care of me because I can't take care of myself. And I did that so many times. And people would come up and they would tell me, "You only got to do it once." I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it and keep doing it until he hears me. Well, I felt it when it clicked. And ever since then, no matter how bad my life has been or gotten to, no matter how far separated I can be at times, or maybe thinking I'm doing it all by myself, uh, my higher power is still there. My higher power helps me, almost like little sweet whispers, like where I know what I have to do, whether I choose to do it or not. This is the right thing to do. So this is why I'm here too, because the little whispers, I have to follow them. Um, Now, is it God talking to me? Is it the universe? That's stuff I'm still trying to figure out. I know what worked for me, so I know you might feel like you're all alone out there, but you're not. I have some tough days, boy. Stuff isn't a surefire way, but it definitely helps. Um, because you can only serve one master, whether it be yourself, what you would think to be something bad, like a bad energy, or a good energy. You can only serve one master. So if you feel like you just have this negative vibration inside of you, everybody has that like feeling. Acknowledge it and step into the good. Ask your higher power to help you. Ask your friend to help you. Work through it. I believe in you. And I need to be inspired too on a regular basis. So, like, I anyone who wants to, like, please feel free to, comment and tell all of us your story or something that you use to help you feel inspired, especially when times are tough. Because it's crazy out here right now. It's absolutely crazy. I'm always saying I could end up on the 6 o'clock news any day of the week. It's nuts. But I believe in us. believe that there's something that's kind of just has us divided, has us a little confused, and making us feel like we have to pick a side on every single issue that's out there. There's so many issues that I don't know enough about. I can't pick one side or another, but I do know that the people I pass every single day, somehow, some way, are a part of my life, and I want to listen to them. There's nothing that they can tell me that would make me like not be interested in their point of view, because it's important. We grow up or we live around each other. It's nice to know what you're dealing with, and there's so many times that we can find a place of common ground, you know, or let's just say somebody is just like a POS or something, to stay away from them, but it doesn't mean you can't hear them out and give them a voice. Man, I love my daughters. There's times where my daughters are talking to me where like I'm almost zoning out, but I know I got to pay attention. And I know there's looks on my faces that they're probably like, and vice versa. I know for a fact there's times I talk to those kids and their eyes are so far in the back of their head, I think they're looking out the window. Um, but my kids, they know that there's a higher power too. We just got to lean into it. We got to try. We got to try to help each other out, listen to one another, and we got to pray on it separately. I believe if you meditate or put your conscious awareness into something greater than ourselves, you will get the advice and guidance that you need. Maybe not the way you understand it or way you wanted it, but you'll real or expected, but you'll realize it was exactly the path that it had to be. Um, I appreciate anyone who's checked this out. I really would like it if you hit the thumbs up button. I'm still at the very beginning stages. I kind of choke in front of the camera, so I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do my best to have this message get out there as much as possible, uh, to help you feel inspired. So please hit the thumbs up. Everything that you guys know what to do. I don't. You know what to do. Let's get this message out there. I want you guys on here too. I want you to respond. I want to figure it out. If somebody's smart enough to help me and wants to be a part of this, please, let's do it. I just want the message to get out there. It doesn't need to be my face doing this. I just want people to be more mindful, and let's see if we can love each other a little bit better than what we are currently. I thank you. Thank you. Almost got to an accident because people don't know how to drive. But thank God I'm on camera and trying to live inspired, because 9 out of 10 times I'll be cussing that son of a bitch out. He'd ready to be on the 6 o'clock news. So let's do what we got to do to be inspired and inspire each other. All right. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Peace.